morning is shine, shine, shine. And as I look around the room, I see that some of you are really good at that, because I see your shining energy and your shining hearts. Now, the graphic on the screen that says shine, 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 I just found it on the internet and I just loved it. Now, it's actually the front of a book, and it's the front of a novel called Shine, Shine, Shine. And I haven't read it, but you know, I think I want to, because what I read that it's about is really being who we are and shining our light. So I may get to that. Temple Hayes, in the August Science of Mind magazine, said, whether or not you believe in the Bible, when the Creator said, let there be light, the Creator was talking about you. Let there be light. So that's what we're talking about today, shining our light. And so shine, shine, shine. And the first place that we shine is within our own heart. Oh wait, not yet quite.
Well, it's
Yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to Dory, yeah, a little bit later.
Well, we're happy we saw a preview.
Yes, yes, yeah. So, because before we can shine our light out into the world, before we can share it, we absolutely have to find the source of it within ourselves. Because the source is always, always within us. But sometimes we're not plugged into it. So we have to really make sure that we're connected, fully connected to the source of our light. There are some things you might want to remember about the amazing source of light that is within you. You can know that you're connected to it when you're feeling joy, and when you're feeling gratitude, and when that flow is just happening all around you, as it is for you, Warren, as it continually does. You know, you have that light, and it flows. And you can know that the light is still within you, even when things get hard. Have you ever had a situation where things were pretty difficult, you were being challenged, maybe you were worried about making a big decision, maybe you were worried about money, and then someone or something came along to remind you that you're being held in the hands of Spirit, to remind you that that light is always shining in you and for you and around you, filled with blessings. Just remembering that God is your source of love, that God is your source of abundance, can help to turn that light back on when we tend to lose it. It's trusting God or angels or positive energy or guides, trusting that they are kind of going before us to fill our path with all that is needed, is absolutely an amazing thing that can turn a day around, sometimes providing even miracles. So how do we do that? How do we keep our hearts wide open for that? Well, start your day with spiritual practice. I mean, we have tools here. We have the tools of prayer, meditation, affirmation, and it's just, they are so, so powerful. But you don't have to wait until morning to start this, folks. You can start before you go to bed the night before. And if you do that, if you set your intention to wake up filled with joy, if you, before you go to sleep, spend a few minutes in gratitude, being grateful for all that has transpired in the day, it's just absolutely amazing. And you can also spend just a few minutes sending out love and light to all who are on your prayer list, to all that you want to bless, everyone that you've run into, even if it's somebody that you've had a conflict with, or some way that you need support, you can just absolutely open that up to all beings, all beings. And you know, if we turn it over we talk about releasing at the end of our affirmative prayers. We talk about speaking our word and knowing our truth, and then being grateful, and then absolutely releasing it into the universe, letting God do what God does so well, which is make things happen. And if we do that before we go to sleep, we can trust, we can absolutely trust that our angels, our helpers, our guides are absolutely going to be working on our behalf, even as we get a good night's sleep. And I don't know if any of you try this, but you know, it really, really works. The preparation that we do before we go to sleep at night determines how we're going to wake up in the morning. And if you move into your morning time of prayer and meditation after a night like that, you got it going. Absolutely have it going. It makes it easy to share your light in your home, in your workplace, wherever you go. Because that's the second place that we really need to shine. We shine within our own hearts, and then we get to shine wherever we happen to be. Here's what Ernest Holmes had to say about that. If you want to start a chain reaction that will help those around you, realizing that it must begin at the center of your own being, suppose you take time daily to say these words to yourself, very simply and sincerely, and perhaps repeat the process a number of times each day. Now, when you came in this morning, you received a bookmark, and we have on here the words that Ernest Holmes gave us and suggested that we say, several times each day to empower us. He says, I know that nothing but good can go from me, and nothing but good can return. It is my inward desire that everything I touch, every person I think of, shall be blessed and helped. It is my affirmative prayer, which I completely accept, that even as I pass people in the street, some silent influence of good shall reach from me to them. So I invite you to play with that this week, to see what a difference it makes in your life. Now, there are some people who think that they can just have this bright light within them, and they can make this big difference in the world, but they're not going to share their light at home, or at work, or any place where it might be uncomfortable. In certain relationships, maybe, with certain people, but it doesn't work that way. It absolutely doesn't work that way. For if we really want to shine our light, if we really want Spirit to be able to move in, through, and as us, as that love, as that light, as that caring, we have to be willing to share it everywhere we go. Even with the people that kind of push our buttons, even with the situations that tend to be difficult, we get to share our light, and at least hang out being willing to do that. You can't hide it. You can't put a bushel over your light and not shine it. If you want to really be joyful, if you want to live the light that you have come here to live. So I invite you to risk that. I invite you to risk sharing your light, even when it seems scary, even when people might think you're a little weird, even when people end up with interesting looks on their faces. Here we go. So there's Dory, and there are some interesting looks around her, but is she afraid to shine her light? No. So even if people are looking at you weird, just go ahead and shine your light. They will get used to it, and they will love it, because people are so, so hungry for the kind of light that you have to share. Ernest Holmes said, your endeavor then is not so much to find God as it is to realize God's presence and to understand that this presence is always with you. Nothing can be nearer to you than that which is the very essence of your being. Your outward search culminates in the greatest of all possible discoveries, finding God at the very center of your being. That's where it lives. That presence is the very source of your love and light. That presence, that light, chose to express into and as each of you in your own unique ways, with your gifts, with your talents. It wants to shine through you, to be the Jimest Jim it can be. Yeah, to be the Nataliest Natalie it can be. And so that's why showing up and letting our light shine is absolutely such an amazing, amazing experience. So you can feel it at the center of your being. You can imagine it shining from your heart. You can imagine it touching all of those who are around you, even on the roads when there's traffic, touching all of those who are around you, even when you're challenged with some things, and imagining that your light is touching the light within each of them, for we are one. But what if you're not feeling that light? I mean, what if it's hard to find? I had some days a couple of weeks ago where that's where I was. It was like I wasn't waking up feeling my joyful self, because usually I wake up pretty joyfully, huh? Yeah. And it wasn't happening. And even in my meditation, I just didn't seem to be able to contact that place that was the light that I know is in here. And so, of course, I persisted with my spiritual practices and started working with an affirmation. So here's what helped me find the light again. It was to focus on my willingness. Here's the affirmation I used. I am willing to feel the light. I am willing to see the light. I am willing to be the light. I'm willing to feel the light. I'm willing to see the light. I'm willing to be the light. Want to say that with me?
I'm willing to feel the light. I'm willing to see the light. I'm willing to be the light.
It's powerful, 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 because when we are willing, Spirit steps forth and makes the way clear. The Sufi poet Hafiz said, I wish I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. I wish I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. So we can shine our light with our heart, inside our heart and from our heart. We can shine it wherever we are every day, and we can shine our light through service. Serving others just seems to make us shine. Have you ever had that experience when you choose to do something that's in service? Maybe it's here at Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. Maybe it's with a friend or a charity or a family member, and you reach out to serve. Doesn't it feel good? I mean, you can just get that feeling of being glad to be alive, being thankful that you have something to share, and being energized and invigorated by it. So that's what service can do for us. And I believe that there is something within each and every one of us that longs for that light to flow through us in service. I know there are certainly people around here that do that. Some that come to my mind are Lori, who is holding consciousness for us. She teaches meditation at the Boulder jail, and I know that that's a very powerful, powerful program. And Dave and Barb Barb's on the board, and they decided they would stay in Estes Park instead of coming to church this morning.
Late in the watch time.
But Barb teaches, is a tutor for English as a second language for people who want to become citizens. And Dave does things like hanging our new screen. Finally, we have a screen that Dave came and hung yesterday. And Jubilee shares her light at the Botanic Gardens by supporting and creating beauty. And that's a wonderful gift of light. Thank you. Now I'd like to give you a chance to tune in to the amazing light that is within you. So I'm going to invite you to relax in your chair. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes. Take a deep breath and imagine that there's a light in your heart. Notice it. You might see it, or feel its warmth, or sense it in some other way. This is the part of you that wants to live, that wants to love and be loved. This is the part of you that wants to shine. This light, this spark, this seed of divinity has always been with you. It was with you as a child. It has been with you through every challenge and every opportunity. It's with you now, whether you're facing something difficult in your life, or whether you're in a place of celebrating how smoothly your life is unfolding. This spark of Godness, this light of the Spirit, is the very essence of who you are. It's your source of wisdom, your source of guidance, your source of motivation. This is a light, an essence of power that you can call on at any time. So I invite you to feel this light, the essence of who you are, knowing that you can return to it later for guidance, for inspiration, and for support. This is the source that shines through us. So take a couple of breaths as you feel it, remember it, and know that you can come back to it later. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. We could also say, be the light you want to shine in the world. But that is why we're here. We have come to shine, shine, shine. We've come to shine our light, our compassion, our peace. We have come to shine the very divine that flows through each of us, that flows through each of you so absolutely beautifully. So feel that light shining within you again as I invite practitioners to stand with me in high consciousness as we move into prayer. is one light, one power, one source of majesty, one source of beauty, one source of all that is seen and all that is unseen. For this source is creation. It is the creative energy that flows in, through, and as each of us. It is the creative energy that brought the stars and the planets and the universes into being. That, dear ones, is the same power that flows in, through, and as, and for each of us. And so I know that I am one with that light, one with that source, one with that power. And I know that that is true for each person hearing my voice. One, expressions of the divine, come to shine our light in our particular ways, come to share our gifts, come to serve. That's what Spirit is doing in, through, and as each of us. And so knowing that we are one, knowing that anything that I speak is spoken into the mind of God, for there is only one mind, and knowing that there's this part of God that we call the law that says yes. It says yes to whatever we speak. It says yes to what we believe and feel deeply in our hearts. And so knowing that, what I call forth for each one here is a week, a path filled with light. Filled with the light of love. Filled with the light of peace, of joy, of abundance, of fun. What I claim is that as each one of us steps onto our path this week, there is just delight that pops up. That we are fully supported in working toward our good goals. That we are fully supported in what we choose to do to shine our light. Now I know that this is true not only for us, but this is true for all people everywhere. And what I know is that we support all people everywhere, knowing that there is only one. No matter how people pray, no matter how they gather, there's just one source. And we are all connected to it. We are all one with it. And so I bless all religions, all teachings, whether people pray on a mountaintop, in a temple, in a mosque, wherever they gather. Spirit is there blessing, shining its light. And so I am so grateful for this amazing community, so grateful for each one here, so grateful for the law that is shining its light through us, making all of this possible. And so I know that since I've spoken it, since I've seen this in my heart and in my mind, that it is already placed within the mind of God and is being acted upon right now. So that all that has been called forth is now available to be used, to be enjoyed, and to be shared for the highest good and greatest joy of all concerned. And knowing the truth in this, I invite you to say with me, and so it is.
This is Path of Light to Catherine Ikonomu and Peggy Labo wrote this. Path of Light. I will trust in spirit. I will open my heart. I will always remember the truth of God that has brought me this far. So lead me on this path of life. shine a light in the darkness. I will bring forth the truth. I will always honor the beauty and light that I see in you. Oh, so lead me on this path of light, and every step I take in faith leads me home to a place where all I know is love and grace. Lead me on this path of light. As I breathe, I become completely one with the light and the love. Completely one. As I breathe, I become completely one with the light and the love. Completely one. Oh, one. Lead me on this path of light, and every step I take in faith, oh, leads me home to a place where all I know is love and grace. All I know is love, all I know is love, all I know is love and grace. Lead me on this path of light.
Beautiful, thank you, thank you. My watch is connected to the back of my blouse at this point. I need a little assistance.